find it hilarious that when Draxus made the tokens, he put images of
Yeah.
actors on the tokens itself. It's like I believe this is Ian McKellen. I believe this is Ian McKellen.
No way.
He
It's
looks like
just some
Ian
random
McKellen.
old guy.
He looks like Ian McKellen. Think about it.
So
That
much,
is
yeah.
that is not Ian McKellen.
He looks like
He
it.
looks like
But
Ian
he is.
McKellen.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know where he got these pictures from.
I don't know where Draxus got them from either. Anyways, okay, Nusfjord. Let me do a random setup and then I'll explain about the game. Okay. Okay. So this is Nusfjord.
Ping me when you're done here.
Oh, you don't need to teach? Or have you played?
No, I don't think you need to teach, but I do,
Okay,
and so
I
does
see.
Deshiga.
Okay. So Nusfjord is another, well, obviously Rosenberg game. Why not? Why wouldn't he just comes up with games and they all play well enough. Anyways, so in this game, our objective is to manage a little village, a little fishing village in northern Norway, and we're going to recruit elders, we're going to produce fish, and we're going to build more ships and clear forests and so on and so forth. It's basically building buildings and grabbing recruits in a nutshell. So we'll basically be doing 3 actions each turn. We have these 3 tokens, and we'll be using these tokens on this board, on this action board, in order to do the action and then get back, go down from there, right? We'll be playing the game, I believe, in 7 rounds. Okay. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe we'll be playing the game in 7 rounds. Yeah, 7 rounds it is. Yeah, in 7 rounds, we'll be playing the game, and then we'll just score points at the end of the game. Let me explain how we get points, because I think that's the easiest way to go about explaining this game, because there's quite a bit to this. Okay, so game ends in 7 rounds, as I mentioned, and we'll score points. We score points resembling stars. So anything with stars on them, we get points, right? For example, if we deploy shares, which we'll be doing across the game, we will get points. Per gold is a point. Any unoccupied space is negative point. So yeah. So and then you want shares. I'll explain how shares work in a sec, right? So anytime you get shares, your shares are worth points. The shares can be yours, or the shares can be any other players, right? There are actions there to issue shares and buy shares. Shares generally typically give you gold, and you buy shares with gold as well. Golds by themselves are also worth points. And then we count up how many points we have in chips, in buildings that we'll make throughout the game, and then gold, shares, blah blah blah, points stuff. Okay, good so far.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. I'm excited to learn about the buying stock in other people's fishing industry. That's cool.
Yeah. So we play the game in several phases. So every round will have 3 phases: the fishing phase, the work phase, and the returning home phase, right? The fishing phase is simultaneous for everyone. So let's start with the fishing phase. It's simultaneous for everyone. So we do this at the same time. So what do we do in the fishing phase? In the fishing phase, we do a few stuff. First of all, you can see at the top of your board, there is a little sheet which says what we do in the fishing phase. So first things first, we address elders. We can get elders through this action, which is take an elder action here. And then you can take one of these elders. Each of these elders will require fish in order to use them. If you do not have an elder on your board, you do not have to give them fish. Elders always are in this spot. So as you can see, there's only 5 elder spaces for you to have elder cards. Elder cards give you benefits and allow you to do certain stuff, right? They can give you some extra actions to do after doing a certain action, or they can give you just resources and allow you to do something, right? In a nutshell, elders are just that. So what the elders do is, let's say if you have this elder, this builder elder, right? So what we'll do is, first things first, we'll place a fish from our hand on each of the elder on our console, like this, right? This little console, this little space is called the elder console. We start the game with no elders, obviously, right? Whenever there is 3 fish, so after placing our fish, if there is 3 fishes on the elder, right, we must remove the fish. We remove all the 3 fish. We take 1 fish to our personal supply, and we return the rest of the 2 to the general supply. So general supply is here. We take 1 to our personal supply and return the rest to general supply. The elder doesn't get removed. It's just the fish on the elder side gets reset.
Question.
Right? Go on.
So we're talking about the fishing phase. Is this activating the elders, or is it just putting fish on there?
So when you activate when you have an elder in the elder council, you must place a fish for the elders if you have any elders.
So it's
1
placing
fish
a
from
fish.
your
It's
supply.
not activating. It's just
No,
placing
it's
a
just
fish.
placing placing a fish.
All right.
All right, I have a question as well. So this elder that you
Go on.
used as an example says +1. Is that +1 players for 1 and more players? Because we have, and then
Yes,
this would
1
be
or more players.
Okay,
1 or
cool.
more players.
All right, nice, got it.
Okay. So so we place the fish there. So that's what we do if there's an elder there. Now, second, if we have shares, or not. Now, shares, when we talk about shares, they're divided into 2 categories, obviously. Shares of other people and shares of our people, right? So you place 1 fish from your hand in each share in your color located on your action. So for example, if you have share here, right? We have all of our shares are in our possession right now. There's 2 shares that we have, and there's 3 shares that have not been issued, right? If we have shares, we take a fish from our hand and we put it onto these shares. Got it?
Yeah, and it's not from the general supply. It's from our supply of fish.
Yes.
Okay.
And you also pay to your shares that other people have. Got it.
Yeah. If any share is located on so I have to clarify this. First, we have to clarify the fact that the first bit, number 2, which is in foreign possession, this is shares that are issued. Number 2 is for shares that are issued. If we have issued them, or they are in foreign possession, or
Other
someone
players.
else has it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah. At that point, you put a fish on it. Third is you put fish on your personal shares that you own.
So it's these shares, not unissued shares.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always buy your own shares after you issue them, by the way.
You cannot buy unissued shares. Got it.
Yeah, but when you issue them, all the shares are here, right?
Yep.
And then when you go to this buy all shares phase, you buy all the shares there with 1 gold each. For rounds 4 to 5, they cost -1. The
So it
total.
costs 2. Or so you get 1 discount. Okay.
Total, yeah. In round 6 to 7, it's 2 less. So if there was 5 shares, in 4 to 5, you have to pay 4 gold, and
Got
6
it.
to 7, you have to pay 3 gold. Yeah.
Sorry,
Would
I
you
might be
also pay
missing.
fishes that are over here?
Huh?
Well, currently we are going from left to right, to center to back. I
Yeah.
believe we're looking at the fishing phase, which is a phase. You
Yes.
just put fish on things that are on places.
Yeah, we just put
let's
fish
take
on
it.
things.
Let's take it by. Let's talk about shares when we get there. Like
Okay.
next.
Reserve. So in the reserve, any fish that we have remaining in our hand, right?
They go to the reserve.
They go to our reserve space here.
Okay.
We have a reserve space,
Max 8.
and we'll put it right in there. Yeah, which is max 8. Okay. If you have 8 or more fish in your reserve, you just completely skip this.
And then you just start checking to the grand general supply.
And
Got
then any remaining fish on our hand goes back to the general supply.
Yep. Cool.
Because we can't have them anywhere.
So
okay.
place your fish on places. Got it.
Yeah. Now, how the hell do you get fish?
Checks out.
So we have a fishing track at the bottom, right? So fishing track at the bottom, this determines how much fish you get. Got it?
When?
Yeah.
During the fishing phase?
Yeah. During the fishing phase. So at the start of the game, we get only 3 fish. So if you have more, so if you start building more boats,
you will get more
I'll give you
fish.
An example, you now get 5 fish, and then so on and so forth, right?
Many fish.
8 fish. Yeah, many fish. The whole point is getting fish in this game, right? So, good so far, guys?
Yep.
So that's the fishing phase.
Yep.
So we get fish based on our track in the fishing track. Then we put fish on our elders. Then we put fish on the shares that we own and that
What
are
if you
in
run
firm
out
possession.
before you get there?
Then you don't do it.
Okay, cool.
You skip anything that you can't do.
Fair.
Yeah. And that's that. Typically, you never want to get to step number 5. If you still have fish left by step number 5, then you're clearly not utilizing your ship production
Other things.
properly.
Yep.
Fish production properly because you have excess fish.
Got it.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. Now
We did
let's
fishing.
move on to we go fish. So done. We just fished. Now okay. Now phase 2, work phase. In the work phase, we send out our workers in all of these spots. This is obviously clockwise. Start player always changes at the start of the round, so yeah. It's a bit weird how they handle starting player and like round 1 and round 2, but I'll explain that a bit later. Anyways, actions. So in the actions, we will take 3 turns per player in 1 round. We take 1 action every time, right? And then we do that up to 3. So when we take a turn, we place exactly 1 worker on any action space of our choice. You will notice in the action spaces at the top left, there's a number. That number signifies how many workers can there be in that location. So some of them are 1,
clear.
some of them are 3. Okay? So yeah, based on these actions, so whenever you place your worker there, that means you must be able to at least do part of it. If you cannot do the action, you cannot place a worker there. Okay? So if you place a worker there, you must be able to take the action or part of it. Got it? Okay. You may always pass. You may always take the pass turn where you basically don't place a worker in your turn.
If you pass, can you still do an action when it comes back to you?
Yes. So if you pass 1 turn, you may place a worker on the 2nd turn. Right?
Okay.
So you get only 3 turns. So you only get 3 turns in a round. So if you don't place a worker, you're limiting the number of workers you're trying to place, because you only get 3 turns in a round. There will not be a 4th turn. So you
Got it.
either play all 3 or you play 2 and skip past a turn, because you want to see what everyone else is doing, right?
Right.
Maybe. Right?
Sorry, say
Okay.
what? We just placed one, right? What was skipping?
So you can always pass a turn without placing a worker.
Why
Now,
would you do that though? But sure.
To see what the other person
maybe you can't
might
do anything. Maybe you can't do anything.
Or maybe you want to see what strategy the other person's going to do before you make your final decision.
That
Mhm.
does limit the number
But-
of workers you play in the round,
But
but
he
you typically want to play all of them. But if you can't play it, then what can you do, right?
but he was saying the action selection only goes around 3 times, so if you do skip a round,
Yes.
you gotta, figure out where you're gonna spend those workers. You only have 3
Yep.
opportunities to drop workers.
Checks out.
Okay. Now let's talk about the actions. I mean, this action is very
Makes sense.
self-explanatory, right? One go. This is, we transferred the reserve from there to a personal supply.
Cool. Got it. Easy.
Yeah. I'll get to serving fish in a sec, but this is building a building. Building a building means building any of these buildings. The costs are on the left. Some buildings do cost gold, bear in mind. And they also give you, and buildings also give you points at the end. They also give you abilities. Issuing a share, you get 2 gold when you issue a share. Very nice. Buy all shares, I've already mentioned. Buy all the shares. Deforest, you remove a forest from your board. Do remember, if you start removing forests one by one, at some point this space will open up. If it does open up, that's more empty spaces. So you need to build more buildings there, unless you want to take the negative.
Sorry, one question. For buy all shares, if you have enough
Yes.
money to pay for all of them, do you have to buy all of them? And if you don't have enough money for all of them, can you buy some of them?
So yes, you can always go there and do the action partially,
Okay.
but you
can
must
always
be able
choose.
to do it.
Okay.
Huh?
If I had like 7 gold, I can choose to buy only 1 share of, like, say 4 shares, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basic. Oh, hold on. I want to do a rain check on that. You must be able to buy all the shares. I just checked. You may not buy fewer shares. Steve? Hello?
Yep, copy that. I was just unmuting myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check it
Yeah.
online as well, but yeah, I got you. I'm gonna play that way.
Yeah. I just say you cannot buy minimum shares. You must buy all of them. You must be able to buy all of them. So yeah. Yikes. So before we go any further, I want to explain serve fish, right? So what does serve fish do? So that means we may serve fish on any of the empty spots in the banquet table. The banquet table is right here in numerical order.
Just to interrupt briefly. I just double checked you, and it's correct. And you can't take that action unless you can pay and buy.
You
for
can
all
buy all of them.
shares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, serve fish. You start serving fish in numerical order where there isn't a fish, and you may serve as many plates as you want, but it must start with the It must start with the smallest empty plate. Once you do that, you must place exactly 1 fish on the plate and return the rest. So number of plates you show is number 1 how much you spend, and then so here, let's say if you want to place a fish here, you have to spend 3 fish in order to place 1 fish here. Out of those 3 fish, 1 fish will stay here, and the rest will return to the general supply.
So if you
So
want
the
to
number is
fill all
basically
plates, then it's 5 plus 7 plus 4, so 20. 20? No. Math hard.
So it's 7,
16.
11, 16.
So 16 in order to place 4 fish to get 4 gold.
Gold.
Yeah, you won't have that, so that's fine.
I mean, you'll get a ton of fish. Don't worry about that. So
But you can only store
always,
8 here, and you. So
Yeah,
you
but
won't.
the general
You said left to right.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
It
Right,
must
right to
always
left.
be right to left. Lowest number to highest number.
And what removes these fish during the game?
End of the round.
Okay, so this is just for the first round then, essentially? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So that people don't abuse it from the start. That's pretty much it. So the interesting thing is your reserve may have 8, but your personal supply has no limit for how much fish you can have.
Okay.
Right? It has a limit on gold, on wood, but there's no limit on gold or fish.
Fair.
So
Solid.
yeah, so it's just 8 for the reserve, and which you can always take with the with the transfer reserve action.
Yep, got it.
Only once, so yeah, that's a yes.
And that's the only way that you can get these into your personal supply.
Yeah, there might be some elders that allow that.
Oh
There
yeah,
might
I
be
guess
some,
there.
There might be some buildings
Cool.
that
Moving on.
too, but yeah. Okay.
This
Deforest.
gets you gold. Got it. This
Yeah.
builds your buildings. Got it. Deforest. Easy.
So when you deforest, you remove a forest from one of your selections, right? You remove the forest, and you're like, yeah. And then you get some wood. What do you use wood for? Obviously, building.
Are they all double
Yep.
stacks, these forests? 2 tiles
No,
on top of each
the
other?
only the top one is single double stacked.
Okay.
Only the top one is double stacked. The other ones are not. Okay.
And
now,
you can choose, sorry, and you can choose whichever tile, or do you have to go top down?
You can choose whichever.
Okay.
Reforest everything.
Yeah, but do remember, if it's empty,
Yep.
kind of
Minus
sucks.
points.
Right.
That's why I said reforest everything.
Yeah. Thin out, you basically just get 1 wood.
1 wood per forest.
Per
So that's
forest.
3 wood. 3 wood at the
Yeah.
start, right? Or is it 4 because it's a double?
Yeah, it's a double.
So it's 4 at the start.
Yep.
Cool.
And then reforest, you just place 2 forests on any free double space.
Wait, so for thin
So-
out, you don't actually have to remove a tile, though, right?
No.
Oh, cool.
So you do this. For reforest, you do this. You place 1 there. You place 2 forest tiles on top of
Right.
each other in a free.
And now
in
thin
a
out
free
gives you
double
6
space.
wood. Whoa, it's
Yeah.
better than actually deforesting.
Can you put these down vertically if you want to?
No.
Okay.
That makes no sense. Look, just look at it. It looks bogus.
From where I was, my angle looked, I couldn't tell, but yeah, now I see it looks bogus, yeah.
Okay. Building a ship again. Pay the
Makes
money.
sense. Get
Pay
more
the
income.
stuff. Build ship. Taking elder. You can take the elder and use immediately. Now,
What's the cost? 1 fish?
fish. Okay. So what is using an elder, right? So in order to take an elder, you just take exactly 1 elder and you put him on your council, and you put him face up, and then you immediately use the elder. When you use the elder, what you do is you can, instead of placing a worker in an action spot, you place it on the elder. And then you do the elder's action.
Sorry, say again. You buy the elder, then you put a fish on it, and then you.
They become an action space,
placing a fish is
basically.
only the fishing space.
They
Placing a
become
fish is only the fishing
action
space.
spaces where you can
Oh,
drop
they
your
become
worker.
action spaces. Oh, got it.
Yeah. So instead of doing, let's say, deforest, you can come here, which is basically 2 actions built
Yep.
into 1.
So I know you said this already, but I missed it. When you get an
Elder.
elder, do you have to pay 1 fish to get him? Is that what you said?
No, that is on the fishing. That is on the fishing phase. When you get the elder, at that point you
Cool.
need to put the fish on the elder.
Okay,
in
if
order
you
to keep
got
it going.
If you don't put the fish on the elder, do they leave?
Yeah. However, when you take the elder action, I was going to get to this. When you take the elder action, you must take a fish from the banquet table, from the largest plate.
Always.
Yes.
If you take an elder action, take a fish from a large place, put it anywhere, or just chuck it away.
On the elder.
Okay.
They
Cool,
don't. They
got
don't. They don't ever leave, or can you get rid of one if you wanted to open up another slot here? How does that work?
So You can always replace an elder, I believe.
Okay. But they don't
So
leave in any other
if
way.
you take an
right?
elder, huh?
They don't get removed by any other means, just when you want to
No.
replace them, right? Okay.
No. Okay. So yeah. So whenever you do the elder action, you must take a fish from the banquet table. It's a must. So that means there must be some fish there in order to take some. Welcome to Nusfjord. But yeah, you place the fish and do that. But when you do the elder action, you don't place the worker. The worker, you have basically foregone a worker in order to do the elder action. Okay?
Makes sense.
You can only take the elder action if there's a fish on the banquet table. If that's not been clear enough. And you can only use your own elders. Why would you want to use another elder? Right?
Okay. Anything else? Something about the shares, right?
Lastly is copying an action. Copy. Okay. About shares, right? So when you issue a share, you put the share right in the issue pile, right? And any player can only take at most 3 issue a share. Why? Because they only have 3 unissued shares. And when you buy a share, you must buy all of them, and then those shares can give you some fish along the way, right?
Yay, fish.
Fish. Okay. The other thing to note about elders. So for example, and this is best to explain with an example. Let's say I take the builder elder, right? If I take the builder elder, I must take a fish from the plate. Let's say I take this fish from the plate, and then immediately use the builder, right?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Then later that round, I can place a worker
You can use it again.
on this elder
got it.
to use it again.
So the first time you didn't need to use the worker action,
No, you just needed to use the fish.
and that's
But
during
it
the
still
action
required a
phase?
worker. It still required a worker because you have to go to the worker, you have to get the bill,
Oh, got it. Okay.
get that guy, and then you take a fish from the banquet table in order to activate the elder.
Got
But
it.
then you can do it a second time in a future turn because, well,
And then if
that.
you do it a second time, they still need to eat from the banquet table. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And gold is basically points.
Gold is basically points.
Got it.
1 gold is 1 point.
Is there
Excellent.
anything else that awards victory points at the end of the game, or just the victory points themselves from
Shares.
shares? Yeah.
So
They
it's
are just a
mostly
victory point.
mostly ships. You'll see each of the ships have different variable
it.
points. Buildings have points at the top right.
Oh, okay.
Elders don't have any points, but gold does, and then minus points for every unoccupied space. And I believe the other one is obviously yours.
That's pretty
All right.
straightforward. That's a nice game.
Yep.
All right.
Got it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I will tag him, and then we will.